Team India's historic chase, of course. Team India has won this match with 339 chase, and India won the match with over 5 wickets. It was Jemimah Rodrigues who has slammed a century alongside Harmanpreet Kaur. India chased a target of 339 runs and it has won the match by 5 wickets. And Deepti Gupta, former cricketer, is now joining me live. Welcome to NDTV, sir. Your first thoughts on this historic win for Team India?
Well, first of all, congratulations. And secondly, this is one of the greatest run chases that you'll get to see, period. I mean, forget everything else. I mean, a semi-final against a team which hasn't lost a game in World Cup since 2017. One of the most dominant teams to have played this sport, to beat them and chase down 339, which is a record in itself, in a semi-final of a World Cup. This is one of the greatest run chases that you'll come across. This is absolutely brilliant. I still have got goosebumps, so I still don't believe this. I mean, this is absolutely fabulous. We were talking about this before the game, Rika, isn't it? About could this match at this tournament be proved to be what happened in 1983? And we are on our way. And we spoke about this as well. The fact that if India goes on to win this game, definitely going into that finals as firm favorites. And the way they won this, to be fair, 339 runs in a semi-final, that is unheard of. So, yeah, I mean,
they set up a date. They set up a date with South Africa on Sunday. Would you say India are going to go into that game as firm favorites?
Yes, absolutely. No two ways. Having said that, South Africa has been playing really good cricket. Laura Wolfa, their captain, obviously scored that 100. She's one of the best batters in the world. And they are a really good unit as well. You know, from Karp to Sunelus to all of them. I mean, Chloe Treon and all, very experienced side. But then, listen, this victory is got to mean, I mean, it's got to make India one of the firm favorites into the final.
She's the hero of the day, not out on 127. Deep, let me come back to you and ask you about the moment the first catch of Jemimah Rodrigues was dropped. Would you say that was the moment Australia dropped the World Cup?
Yeah, and especially Alyssa Healy, I mean, that was, I mean, she would be, I mean, almost 10 out of 10 times she would be catching those, to be fair. But then it was Jemmy's day. I mean, you can't take anything away from that innings, leaving aside the catch drop or the run out opportunities and all of that. Talia Magra dropped one as well almost at the end of the innings, when there was still, I guess, India needed 35, 37 runs. So they will look back Australia and look at the fielding effort. That wasn't the greatest that one of the greatest days that they've had on the field. But can't take away anything from whether it's Jemmy, whether it's Harman, that Sharja mentioned about that partnership. India lost 2 early wickets. And one of them was obviously Smriti, who's been scoring runs against Australia as well, which we spoke about. And just to stitch together that about 160 odd run partnership and making sure it's not just the partnership, but the run rate never got out of, as in the required run rate never got out of control. They were always keeping pace right through that partnership as well. It's very easy to think about, let's try and build this innings and let's take 5 overs, 7 overs. And before you realize, your asking rate from 7, half 7 goes to 8.5 and 9 and goes out of reach. And just to keep pace with that run rate while making sure you don't take too many chances or you keep that run rate going and keep the partnership going. Phenomenal effort.
Shalja, would you say that this is the best you have seen of Jemimah Rodrigues?
Of course, undoubtedly, I would say. Of course, she's played quite a few stellar knocks, but I think this will top all of that. And especially in a World Cup semi-final game like this, a crucial knock, especially, like I said, at the time when she came in, and from there to take on the team across the finishing line is fantastic and a phenomenal knock that she played. And I would rate this as her best innings so far.
And Deep, when you look at this match, it's the highest successful run chase in an ICC knockout. Would you say this is the best in terms of women's cricket overall that you've seen?
Rika, I'd say this is one of the greatest run chases that I've seen. I'm not going to differentiate and all of that. I mean, like you said, semi-final against Australia, one of the most dominant sides to have played the sport, and a semi-final game when you're chasing down 339. This is one of the greatest run chases that I've seen, and with Jemimah's innings, one of the greatest World Cup innings that I've seen.
Shelja, you are also a cricketer and you are well aware about chasing in Diwai Patil under lights. Tell us a little bit about, what could have made this chase tricky for India and why this then became special as a chase.
See, when you're taking on a side like Australia, the whole innings in itself will be quite challenging because Australia will not let you get the better of them, and they will always try to be in the game, even in terms of facing a crunch situation. They will always want to bounce back, make the best use of that particular situation, and get the better of the opponent. So in that particular case, I think and also when you're coming into a semi-final kind of a game, playing in home, in front of your home crowd, especially for Jemmy, she's from Mumbai, and the pressure is a lot more. So I think it has to do a lot with her mental toughness and being very clear with what she needs to do at that particular situation. And overall, if you see, I think the crucial catches that they missed of Jemmy, especially Alisa Healy's drop catch, and then later in the innings, Talia McGrath's drop catch as well, have played quite a crucial part, I would say. But on the other side, the second innings, the dew setting in and the Australians finding it difficult in terms of fielding and bowling itself was also a bit of an advantage for the batters today. So I think on the whole, it really worked for India.
Deep, 2017 was the last time when Australia was knocked out in a World Cup semi-final, and that too by India. And since then, Australians have gone on to win 7 titles, World Cup titles, because they changed the way they play one-day cricket. Put things in perspective for our viewers. How then this knockout is so very important, and it is a history-making match for the Indian women's cricket team.
See, Rika, this is how I say 2017 was a watershed moment for women's cricket in India. That Harman knock, again, one of the greatest, World Cup knocks you'll see against Australia, that took women's cricket to a different level. Then WPL came in and all of that. And we are looking at a women's cricket, which is totally different. The landscape has changed in the last few years. And this is a great opportunity for the Indian women's team to take women's cricket, not just in India, world over, to the next level. The whole ecosystem of men's cricket changed post 83 when India won the World Cup, and this is a great achievement, but I guess it would be incomplete if India does not go on to win the World Cup. I'm still saying this is a great achievement. There's no two ways about it, but it would be incomplete if India doesn't go on to win it on Sunday. So fingers crossed, superb, enjoy, celebrate tonight, but get back to work again because the job is not done as yet.
Okay, before we get ahead of this result, Shelja, let's get back into this match and talk a little bit about that wicket of Smriti Mandhana. What did you think? Did you think that she was out?
Initially I didn't think it was out, but then it was a very very faint edge, and sometimes technology gets the better of the players, of course. And now with the technology, it has both the pros and cons. Sometimes it really works for us, and sometimes it doesn't go our way. But that's part of the game, and we have to accept all of that and go on. But right after that, the way Indian team took the responsibility in terms of Harman and Jemmy playing that crucial partnership was very, very important in, chasing such a big total. And then Deepti and Richa and the others chipping in definitely helped. But then that particular partnership was very, very important. So in that case, of course, I didn't expect Smriti to get out at that time, especially in that particular form. But, it was really unfortunate.
Deep, what do you think about that wicket?
Well, I think, listen, you've got to trust the technology and accept it. Whether you like it or not. there have been quite a few incidents in the past as well where you really thought, technology wasn't right or whatever. But then that's part of the game now. I guess we've got to move on and not really think too much about it. But yeah, we were talking about the run chase, but also a lot of credit to Sri Charani, the way she bowled as well. I mean, during that phase when she came in and picked up those 2 wickets, I think that was also very, very crucial because suddenly at that point in time, just felt like the game was running away from India. So I think also credit to Sri Charani as well. While we celebrate the run chase, let's not forget the bowlers and especially someone like Sri Charani doing so well during that middle phase.
Deep, India only has 2 days now, tomorrow and day after, to rest, recuperate, and get back in shape for the final. Do you think it's a very little turnover time for Team India now?
Listen, it doesn't matter after this win, and we're talking about World Cup final. I think I mean, the adrenaline should keep you going, for the next 7 days, I guess, after a win like this. So, yes, there would be tiredness. I'm sure the Indian support staff will look after the players, make sure they recover. I'm sure they'll take a day off tomorrow. I mean, they should celebrate. Every reason to celebrate tonight, recover tomorrow, and back to work again on Saturday, and focus on South Africa. India's got a good record against South Africa. Maybe not in the World Cups, but in general, has a good record against South Africa. And again, they're playing really good cricket, South Africans. So back to the drawing board again on Saturday. But yeah, make sure you enjoy yourself tonight. Make sure you recover properly as much as possible over Friday. And then Saturday, back to work again.
Shailja, how difficult will it be for the Indian girls to refocus in 2 days' time after such a high octane game tonight?
See, I think when you're coming into a tournament like the World Cup, the teams will be quite prepared for for the longevity of the tournament. And of course, and going by the schedule, they will obviously know that, they should be prepared for all of this. And the players are quite prepared in terms of, mentally and physically to take the team up to until the finals and, go on to win the trophy. I think this bunch of girls are really, really driven and, they really want to win the World Cup for us. And it is long due that, we deserve a World Cup. And I would also like to mention that these girls, this squad of Indian cricket, along with the support staff, are carrying the weight of so many million dreams of so many girls from the nooks and corners of the country. And if India goes on to win this World Cup, I think the fate of women's cricket will take a big turn, and think a lot of things will change for a lot of girls in India, and the culture and the following of cricket in itself will have a big leap.
Indeed, a huge moment for role modeling when it comes to women's cricket in India. Deep and Shailja, do stay on with us. Let me tell our viewers who are joining in it at this hour that India has knocked Australia out of the World Cup, having beaten them by 5 wickets in a high-octane finish at the Devi Patil Stadium. In fact, it was the highest successful run chase in an ICC knockout by any team, and India managed to chase down 339 runs under the lights at the Devi Patil Stadium. Deep, while we are discussing tonight's game and looking ahead to the finals, one of the important things that India perhaps needs to look at is their fielding, because there were several fielding lapses this evening as we saw the Indian cricket team. What is it that they need to do differently now?
Rika, this has been India's Achilles heel for a very long time. Anyone who's followed women's cricket, and which you have, and obviously Shailja plays, so I mean, fielding and catching has been a major issue for a while. And before the World Cup started, I mentioned it somewhere, in terms of talent and everything else, India's right up at the top with anyone else, including Australia. But where India might be behind would be the fielding and catching bit. And it will not happen overnight. I'll be honest. I mean, this team can try and do the best that they can, but I think this is a longer process, especially playing under lights, fielding under lights. being more athletic. So I don't think there is any shortcut or a band-aid which is there right now. But obviously, yes, something that Amol and his team, I'm sure, is looking into. But it will take a little longer. What this team can do in the meantime is just try their best, do everything they possibly can for the finals.
What a moment for coach Amal Mazumdar as well. We saw him wincing when India wasn't able to, when India's wickets fell. They were not managing to convert those singles into twos. Shelja, tell us, as a cricketer, at this point, what do you really think that India needs to tighten up ahead of that final against South Africa?
I think South Africa is another team, and going into the finals, the Team India will obviously come with the plans that will work for work against South Africa, obviously. But like Deep said, and like we saw today, there were quite a few fielding lapses, quite a few overthrows where a lot of runs leaked, and I think that has been quite a concern. But end of the day, like he said, all we can focus at the moment is the finals and what best the players can deliver on that particular day for that particular game against that particular opponent. So that is all they will be thinking about, and that is all they will be preparing for. And the better they execute their plans, I think they'll be on the winning side.